What's up, Reapers? Welcome back to the crypt. I am starting to get better. I have a small update for you. I was gonna do an unboxing, but I was just dying yesterday, and it was literally only a minute long, even though it's two CDs, which I found odd because I made one CD last for about three, which I would consider acceptable for an unboxing, especially a small one. So that said, I've also, and this is also a bunch of CDs that I've been jamming, or albums I've been jamming within the last couple of days. Some of them are the same. Um, I will say I've been listening to a lot of older releases. There are some new albums, um, like from this year that I just don't have, that I've been jamming. That said, fuck, I forgot one. Hold on. Where are you? There you are. Alright, that said, if you don't like deathcore or metalcore, I would suggest you click off after these two, because it most of what I have in here is within that deathcore realm, and I know a lot of people have. God damn it, I forgot two. Sorry. Um, I know a lot of people don't like that. So that said, first of all, these were both bought from CDN Records, either before Black Friday or on Black Friday. Um, Desecrate the Faith with three great brutal death metal album released last year. I think this is their second album. Jesus, don't break the fucking disc. Um, yeah, I mean, if you want just straightforward brutal death metal, Desperate Faith. And then this was a band and album I found through Classic Metal, Lonnie's posts and channel. Church of Disgust with Weakest is the Flesh. I believe this came out last year through Hell's Headbangers. And it says HHR. I think that's Hell's Headbangers. Excuse me. Filthy, grimy, dirty, disgusting death metal. And I love it. Alright. That said, time for the absolute fucking stack of shit. First up, we got Cabal, Mark of Rot, a really good blackened sort of deathcore. I know I've shown a lot of these before, but hey, this is what I've been jamming recently, and some of it is stuff that you guys may not even remember. I know for a fact that I've been jamming a lot of these recently and revisiting, so that's kind of why I do this. I know a lot of people are probably like, oh, make new content. I will once I get more mail. I promise. Uh, and once the holidays are through. That said, this is really good. Nothing this was like my introduction, and it is fantastic. Next up, Distant. I need more from them. I love them. Dawn of Corruption. Hellmouth is easily my favorite track, but I mean, Otopism, I think is how you say it. It's the one right afterwards. if you can read that. Next up, we got some grind. No, I'm not gonna do that. Napalm Death, Scum. Everyone fucking knows this. If you don't know this and you say you like grind, get the fuck out. Like, get the fuck out. Okay, if you don't know Napalm Death, Scum, or just Napalm Death in general, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm a fan of grindcore, no. Plain and simple. Might have jinxed myself up. Wormrot with voices. I think this came out last year, but I could be wrong. No, I think this came out. I don't actually know what uh year this came out off the top of my head. Great grindcore band. Damn. Cheers. By the way, no, these are not updates. These are just things I've been listening to. Next up, I don't know why it took me so long for this band to click with me, but Shadow of Intent with Reclaimer. Um, I sort of saw these guys opening for Cannibal Corpse. I saw because when I saw uh the Cannibal Corpse Whitechapel Revocation and Shadow of Intent tour, which was the first time I saw any of the bands. I was in the merch line for most of Shadow of Intent's set, and I mean, it sounded good, but I was also kind of disappointed because I um didn't really get to experience them live. For the most part, I saw like a couple of songs and then I was out. But this is really good. This has the very first song I ever heard from them, "The Heretic Prevails," with the like six voice uh like the six different voice styles or vocal styles he does in the breakdown. The Return, uh, the Forsaken Effigy, um, just really good stuff. I know it's based around the Halo games, which was the very first rated M video game I ever played. Also, the first shooter I ever played. Next up, I know a lot of people are gonna give me shit for this because a lot of people hate on this band. I love them. Slaughter to Prevail with Costalum, however you say that. Um, I don't know why, but after I saw them, it was so easy to listen to this album where I had pretty much every single song on repeat. That said, Bonebreaker, Demolisher, Baba Yaga, Agony, You're Only, I Killed a Man, Pratava, Father, check this the fuck out. I am begging you guys, give them a chance. Actually sit down and listen to the whole songs because I guarantee you those songs are going to blow your mind when you hear the full thing. Next up, I'm actually wearing my shirt. I actually cut the sleeves off this um because I like wearing tank tops when I go to bed. Um Especially if I'm sick because then I'm not like completely um sweating my absolute tits off. And before you ask, I just showered. So no, this is not grease. Um this is Hatebreed with Weight of the False Self. Really good album. I saw them opening for the Megadeth Lamb of God Trivium tour. Um, in support of this album, and this was actually their backdrop, and that was kind of like what got me more into them, I guess. Because I really only knew, like, I think it was like Serve Your Masters or some weird shit. And now I love them. I actually have a guitar pick from when I saw them opening for Anthrax and Black Label Society. Um, I will say though that I don't really like their pits. I went into it, and it wasn't the fact that it was a hardcore pit. It was the fact that no one fucking helped anyone up. Stupid. If you're gonna mosh, you're supposed to help people to fuck up. Next up, the Acacia Strain with the Dead Walk. Love the Acacia Strain. I really want to get their albums from this year. Burn Face 4x4, Angry Mob Justice Will Shut It Down. See you next Tuesday. Predator Never Pray. Just a fucking relentless album, dude. If you're wondering the other albums, real quick before we move on, that I don't own, I've been listening to Fear and Dagger by Paleface Swiss. Uh, a bit of Angel Maker, especially their album Dissonant, and their album from last year, I think it's like Sanctum. A bit of the self-titled. Um, actually, Johnny suggested a couple of songs for me, and I'm like, all right. And I thank him because I was really only listening to like 4 songs, and only one of them I really knew. Um, God, there's a lot. Fucking. I know Body Snatchers Abandonment is in there. Uh, shit, there's a whole bunch, pretty much anything from Black Tongue. I swear, if someone were to send me everything from Black Tongue on any format, it could be CD, vinyl, cassette, I don't care. I will fucking take that, honestly. I'm kidding. You guys don't have to do that. I'll have my dad help me because he's usually good about finding things. Next up, also Pierce. This Will Never End, or This Is Where It Ends. Really good album. I'm just not a huge fan of melodic deathcore, I guess, or like melodic sort of vocals in deathcore. I've also been listening to Love Spike. Next up, Body Snatcher, Bleed Abide. Really good album, but or not. It's a good album, but I don't see myself just finding a whole lot of enjoyment out of this. Next up, these are from the same band. People are gonna give me shit. Lorna Shore and A Return to Nothingness. Great EP. And then Immortal, because yes, I'm a collector and I hate CJ as a person, but goddamn, does he have some sick vocals. Um, Not a single song on here is a skip, honestly. Next up, switching it up for a bit, Kill Switch Engage, End of Heartache. This was my introduction to them with the song Rose of Sharon, which I would say these guys are like the perfect band for like any breakup. Suicide Silence. The Cleansing. Classic album. Thy Art is Murder with Hate. Reign of Darkness, Pure Stream of Hate. Immolation, Infinite Forms, Dead Sun. Next up, Nihilist with the self-titled EP. Suicidal featuring Casey Tyson Pierce from Angel Maker. Oh. Next up, Worm Shepherd with Ritual Hymns. Really good shit. Ingested, Disruption 2. This is reduxes of the Disruption album, and they have the Alpha and Omega as one track, which I think is better than having it as two separate tracks. Next up, In Flames with Eye the Mask. I know a lot of people give this album shit, and it has shitty songs, I'll admit, but this has some bangers as well. Especially the title track, Follow Me, Stay With Me, Not Alone. Next up, the very first deathcore album I ever heard, bought with the very first song I ever heard in genre, Infant Annihilator with whatever that says. Soul of the Stillborn was my introduction to deathcore as a whole, but I mean, Unholy Grey Birth, Motherless Miscarriage, Baptized, Bastardized, Sodomized, Behold the Kingdom of the Wretched Undying. Fuck. Thought it was getting better. Cattle Decapitation, Death Atlas. I really like this album the more I listen to it. Brand of Sacrifice, God Hand. Talked about that one. Crown Magnetar, Alone in Death. Really good EP. Job for a Cowboy. Ruination. I have been loving the hell out of this album. And next up, Whitechapel, This Is Exile. I need to get the other two early. Like the first few Whitechapel albums are amazing. And then Carnifex, Slow Death. Dead Without Hope is also getting playtime, but this is already 19 minutes long. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And as always, keep it grim.